Episode 22 is another fun-packed adventure, this time focusing on the widescreen series Game & Watch called Popeye. For those that don't remember, Popeye the Sailor Man was a popular cartoon character in the 70s and 80s that Nintendo licensed the rights to use here for the very first time on this handheld. As is usual for our channel, and before we get into today's little gem, I'd like to ask the regular question, what in the world? I think the colors alone might be the biggest giveaway. Even still, did you guess this correctly? It was of course the beautiful and famous Nintendo console from Japan that launched in 1983. Called the Family Computer, it became universally and better known as the Famicom. So once again turning our attention to today's focus and our star of the show. I'm pleased to present, in all its widescreen glory, the Game & Watch called Popeye. Released for sale on August 5th of 1981, this wonderful Game & Watch sold in excess of 1 million copies. Retaining the golden fascia plate of the widescreen series of releases, Popeye was unique insomuch that its plastic case was colored spinach green, in honor of Popeye's favorite muscle-building snack. Given the product code of PP-23, Popeye was the third release under the widescreen series of Game & Watches. Like all other Game & Watch handhelds, the screen, which reverted to a simple time mode when no gameplay was occurring, was called the time or clock mode. When the clock mode was active, you would see an attractive visual display of the various sprites going through their normal gameplay cycle. This was visually pleasing, entertaining the owner as a decorative clock. For Popeye, the clock mode saw the hero's girlfriend, whose name was Olive, throwing cans and bottles and pineapples towards her beloved Popeye, while he was situated in a small rowing boat in the harbor attempting to catch all the rations and supplies she threw. Brutus, Popeye's nemesis, was situated just below Olive on the pier. Armed with a large hammer, he was intent on hitting poor old Popeye into the water. As we join Game Mode A, you can see those groceries that Olive is throwing to Popeye, scoring a single point for each item caught. Popeye is relatively safe catching items directly above his head, also he is safe when he's leaning to his left towards the large anchored ship. However, leaning towards the pier makes him vulnerable to attack from Brutus's hammer. Olive Oyl. Yes, Popeye's girlfriend is called Olive Oyl, occasionally throws items that are too near the pier, so Popeye has to contend with catching the item, and avoiding the blows from the hammer. The water splash sprite indicates that Popeye missed an item thrown by Olive. Interestingly, this game allows the player 2 missed items before he loses a life. However, a single hammer blow will result in an immediate lost life. Equally interesting is the fact that the single missed item, identified by the splashed water sprite, is retained even if Popeye loses a life to a hammer blow. 3 lost lives result in the end of the game. In this example, 39 points were scored. Lost lives are identified by the open spinach cans above the word miss. Game Mode B is identical to Game Mode A, with a single exception that Brutus is able to attack from 2 sides. He can attack from the pier below Olive, or he can now attack from the anchored ship seen on the right of the screen. Again, just like Game Mode A, Olive will increase both the frequency and speed of tossed items as the game progresses. When Brutus attacks from his newly acquired vantage point on the ship, he dispenses with the hammer and just uses his massive fist to try and knock Popeye out of his boat. If a player reaches either 200 or 500 points, all lost lives will be restored. Also, every time 100 points is reached, the game slows temporarily, meaning Olive Oyl tosses less items and throws them slower as well. As adding context to the cartoon's characters, it should be noted that Brutus wanted Olive Oyl for himself, so the routine was always set as an adversity between Popeye and Brutus. Popeye was not as strong as Brutus until he eats his spinach, which instantly acts like a superpower, offering Popeye super strength and bulging muscles. Although Popeye was popular amongst the television audiences of the 70s and 80s, the character first appeared in the Daily King Features comic strip Thimble Theater on January 17, 1919, and Popeye became the strip's main title in later years. Popeye's exploits and adventures are also enhanced by a few recurring plot elements. One is the love triangle amongst Popeye, Olive, and Brutus, or as he was originally called, Bluto, and Bluto's endless endeavors to claim Olive at Popeye's expense. Another character trait Popeye had was his near-saintly perseverance in overcoming any obstacle to please Olive. However, she would often, albeit temporarily, renounce poor old Popeye and his puppy-like adulation for her other suitor, Bluto, and his thuggish and caveman-like affection. Now rejoining Game Mode B. We see from the screen 2 lost lives. And a water splash sprite. This indicates that Popeye cannot afford another mistake, be that by dropping any more tossed items, or getting hit by Brutus. This game comes to a close when Popeye sadly misses yet another tin, or can of spinach in the water near the anchored ship. Final score being 68 points. The instructions booklet is identical to previous models, with a cautions page which underscores tolerance to heat, cold, and moisture, as well as carrying and storage recommendations together with battery maintenance. Popeye would be visited 3 times with Nintendo's Game & Watches, however each gameplay is unique, and none of them would share the theme of the previous offering. We see here the amazingly beautiful and functional Panorama series of Game & Watch, again presented in Spinach green. A full episode will follow on this unit, so remember to subscribe and follow our channel. The other Popeye Game & Watch would be found in the Tabletop series of games. These mini arcade systems are the largest of the Game & Watch range, they are however stunningly done. Presented in the obligatory Spinach green livery, this game too will receive a full episode here on our channel. This quick video will allow you to see the license from King Features Syndicate Incorporated below the screen, identifying it as a fully licensed product. As we move around the game's console, we're better able to see the wire armrest in operation, giving the owner an alarm clock that can sit upright on their bedside table. Many Game & Watches found for sale today have bent and broken wire arms, missing battery covers, and damaged or missing serial numbers, all of which adversely affect the value to collectors. This is the first, but by no means last Game & Watch that has an image printed on the fascia. Clearly today's is an image of Popeye's head and shoulders. This adornment of colorful and iconic images will become much more commonplace as the various ranges arrive. Great Britain received the CGL, or the Computer Games Limited variant of the Popeye game we're examining today. While Nintendo of America never failed to produce the most colorful and most beautiful of all the Game & Watch box varieties sold anywhere around the world, simply stunning graphics. The French had their own importer, called JI21, who franco-filed the boxes and instructions for their market needs. While Trickotronic did a similar thing for the German-speaking markets. These boxes always had a montage of various screenshots adorning the reverse of their boxes. I think it would be fair to say that the Japanese variant could be seen as the standard variety, or at least the most common version. We wrap up our quick look at the various box art issues and variants by casting an eye at what they did down under. Futuretronics was the distribution company based in Australia that repackaged the games in Oz. So that completes our look at the widescreen Game & Watch called Popeye. I hope you enjoyed it with me. Now we're asking this episode's little brain teaser called What in the World? I'd love to see some guessing in the comments section below if you think you know. Try to be exact, as I'll log all the guesses for a later project. If not, join me once again in episode 23 for the big reveal. Next episode also has a cooking theme, so make a note to look us up and bring a saucepan. If you liked the episode, and hopefully you did, then take a few seconds to like us, better still, subscribe and follow our channel. If you activate the alarm setting, you'll receive a personal notification every time we have a new episode, meaning you'll be the first to be with us when we upload content. We really do have some fun events and giveaways planned. These will occur as viewing numbers and subscribers increase, but I'll make notes on all the lucky early adopters to ensure you're fully rewarded. Lastly, thank you so much for watching. See you real soon.